Hello guys, this video is about solving quadratic equations. So again, I put this right here so I can let you know that for quadratic equations, if a times b is 0, this is something to remember when solving quadratic equations by factoring. So if you have two factors, if their product gives you 0, that means one of them has to be 0, okay? So that's what we're gonna see here. By solving a couple of examples here. So let's solve this by factoring. Let's say for number 1, you have 6x squared plus 8x equals 0. So 6x squared plus 8x equals 0. Okay, so the question here is to solve, all right? So you need to solve this. Solve 1. So you have 6x squared plus 8x equals 0. One thing to do here is to try to see if there's a GCF, because we can actually solve this by factoring, right? So the GCF here will be 2x. When I factor it out, I'll get 3x, because 2x times 3x will give you 6x squared, okay? Then plus 2x out of 8x, when you divide, would be 4, right? Okay, equals 0. So 2x times 4 is 8x, okay? Now, two factors, 2x, the first factor, the second factor, 3x plus 4. Those two factors, their product is 0. That means, according to this right here, that means one of the factor has to be 0. It's either that 2x is 0 or 3x plus 4 is 0. So one or the other, okay? Then from here, solving for x is pretty easy. You divide both sides by 2. Therefore, x is 0. And right here, subtract 4 from both sides. You got 3x equals to negative 4. Then you divide both sides by 3. You have x equals to negative 4 over 3, okay? So this is just solved by factoring. So the solution is 0 and negative 4 over 3. So solution is negative 4 over 3 and 0, all right? So this is the solution to this equation, quadratic equation. We're saying quadratic equation because of the form, okay? All right, so this is one problem. Let's try to solve another one. Okay. Another one, let's see, 2. So that's 2x squared for 2. 2x squared minus 5x equals 12. Minus 5x equals 12. Okay, first thing to do here is to try to set this to 0, okay? Because we're going to try to factor. So we set this to 0 by subtracting 12 from both sides. Basically moving it to the left. Okay, trying to move it to the left. So we therefore have 2x squared minus 5x minus 12 equals to 0, okay? And from here, let's try to factor. You can use the AC method, or you just or you try to factor by trial and error, okay? So let's say we use the AC method. AC method. So AC, we would just take, again, these methods of factoring, I covered them in other sections and other videos, okay? So you can always watch them. 2 times 12. So we have 2 times negative 12, which would give us negative 24, right? So once you get negative 24, now I need factors of negative 24, whose difference will give me negative 5, okay, which is the b value. Again, this is how we do when we factor by when we factor using the AC method. Again, I've covered that in another section, in another video I'm saying. Okay, so in this case here, we see that it could be 8, negative 8, and 3, because negative 8 times 3 is negative 24. And when you subtract them, you'll get 5, negative 5, okay? Therefore, I can replace the 5, by negative 8x plus 3x, okay? And all the other numbers, they would remain the same. So 2x squared, the other terms I'm saying, 2x squared and minus 12 stay, okay? Now remember, this was an equation, so equals 0, all right? Then we can factor by grouping here, okay? By grouping. GCF here is 2x, so if I factor 2x out, I'll get x minus 4, right? Because that's 2x factored out, right? And if I factor 3 out as the GCF from there, so it would be x, again, minus 4 equals 0. Now, this factor is the same here, okay? So I can factor it out, x minus 4. Then once I factor it out, what remains, the other factor will be 2x plus 3. So 2x plus 3 then equals 0. All right. And from here, I use the rule right here. So two factors, the product of two factors gives you 0. Therefore, one of them has to be 0. So it's either that x minus 4 is 0 or 2x plus 3 is 0. And you solve them. So x is positive 4 here, and you subtract 3 from both sides, meaning that 2x is negative 3, and you divide both sides by 2. So x is negative 3 over 2. So solution here is negative 3 over 2 and 4. Again, you can always go back and check yourself to see whether what you get, the solution, the values you get here, if they're right, if they're actual solutions, or if there are any mistakes, if you've made any mistakes on your way to the answer right here. Okay, so solution, negative 3 over 2 and positive 4. Okay, negative 3 over 2 and positive 4. All right, so this is it. This is how you solve quadratic equations by factoring. Okay, thank you.